It's hard to film a video with a toddler. For those of you who may not know, my life has obviously changed with this little thing right here, who is the most busy human being on the face of the planet. I have not uploaded a video on this channel in probably over 2 years, just because I sort of started this channel and it was, I felt like I was trying too hard to be something that I'm not. And so, while there were some good and funny things that came out of the like 5 videos that I did, it was just not something that I wanted to pursue. Fast forward 2 years and we now have a 1-year-old. This is Lillian. Say hi. Yeah. Say hi. Yeah. Hi, Internet. Yeah. She has certainly kept us on our toes from the moment that she came into the world. And so that also is in large part why I stopped posting videos. Just there have been a lot of things going on. And that's for people who don't know us. I mean, obviously the people in our lives know she exists and know kind of what's going on with her. And so this is no surprise to them. But this is for the 2 people who randomly stumble across my videos and kind of wonder, will wonder what happened. All of a sudden there's a tiny human and I'm sitting in front of a crib. Lillian was born, she was born last May. She was 2 months early. And about a week after her birth, a nurse discovered that she had a heart murmur. And initially we didn't think it was a really big deal. I have several family members who have had heart murmurs, with my mother being one of them. And it, you know, to me, a heart murmur was like nothing. Like, oh, my mom played sports and she had 2 kids and has done great things with her life, so no big deal. And my sister, I think my sister has a heart murmur, if I remember correctly. And so, again, she played sports and she's gone on with her life and it's been no big deal. So when we initially heard that she had a heart murmur, I wasn't too terribly devastated. I was just kind of like, oh, this is just something that we're going to deal with and it's no big deal. Well, you know, a few hours later, you know, we're meeting with the cardiologist, we're meeting with the pediatrician on the NICU floor, and we're meeting with cardiac nurses and things like that. And I'm starting to realize, like, this is a pretty big freaking deal. And so what she was diagnosed with and what she currently has is what is called, it's the AV canal defect. It is short for atrioventricular canal defect. What ends up happening is she has a hole in a wall of her heart. She has one in the top and in the bottom. Honey. Oh boy, leave your bow in. Mommy likes those bows. Yes, she does. What ends up happening is she has one in both the top and the bottom of the chambers of her heart. And what ends up happening is the oxygen-rich blood and the oxygen-poor blood mixes and it pumps out too much blood to her lungs. And so it can be very dangerous as she grows. Yeah. And so because of that, we were told, you know, she was a week old, that she was going to need heart surgery just as soon as possible to correct that defect. And we got members of our church and members of our family to gather together and pray for her. And so she just began to thrive when she wasn't supposed to. She began to pack on the pounds and she began to just really do things above and beyond what she was ever even supposed to have done. And so her cardiologist, Dr. Shaw, had decided, we're just going to let her do her thing. We're going to let her grow. And the bigger she gets, the easier job the surgeon is going to have. And so she began to heal on her own. We discovered back in last October. Hold on, my child is trying to get into wires. So anyway, her heart began to start healing itself, and to the point that I really can't remember which hole it was that ended up closing completely, but one of them ended up closing almost completely. I think they said it was the size of a pinhole, and they weren't concerned about it, and so the surgeon therefore was not going to operate on it. So fast forward to February, and we discovered that the lower, I think it was the lower, if I'm not mistaken, the lower hole in her heart had stopped or slowed the healing process, and so we moved forward with scheduling surgery. So that's pretty much, you're pretty much up to date in terms of Lillian and her progress. She is doing amazingly well. What is this little, whatever. She's just thriving. Her doctor said that she is completely 100% caught up. She is the size of a normal 1-year-old, and she is doing all of the things developmentally that she should. And considering her start, she shouldn't be. She should be at least at the 10-month mark or less because of her heart, but she's not. She's doing great, and that is an amazing testimony in and of itself. And we are just thrilled and amazed by her every day. So, yeah, but now moving forward, we are a little less than 1 week out from her open heart surgery. And it is so bizarre to think about that, because you look at her and she is just, she's a normal kid, and she doesn't look like she's having a hard time breathing, and she doesn't look, like she's struggling in any way. And so it's very, very strange to know that in less than a week we're going to be in the intensive care unit. And so I kind of just wanted to get on here and visit with some of you guys about and process through what that looks like for us. For me personally, that looks like a huge emotional roller coaster. Just for example, on Saturday and Sunday, I was having just like panic attacks thinking about what this is going to look like. Monday and Tuesday, I was fine. Today, I have my moments where I kind of start to get incredibly anxious, knowing what is going to happen. And then, I have my moments where I'm like, you know what, this is fine. Like, we have known about this for a year, well, over a year now. And God has done everything to prepare me for this moment, and I don't need to worry about anything. I am confident in the surgeon's job, like this is what he does. And he is, yeah, yes. He is probably one of the top guys in his field, and many, many Oklahoma children have seen him. His name is Dr. Burkhart, and we haven't officially met with him yet, but we will on Monday. And so I am confident in his abilities and his education, and I am confident that the Lord has brought us this far, and he is faithful. And so on that aspect of it, I'm not anxious at all. When it comes to actually handing over my child to the anesthesiologist and what she's going to look like when we finally get to visit her, those are the moments where I feel the most emotion. there is very, very little on the internet, at least from what I've researched, which I'm not a great researcher, but, you know, other than by word of mouth and going to hospital websites, there's not a whole lot out there on what a person's journey is. There are a few blogs, but again, those were for little babies. There's not a lot on toddlers. There's not a lot on children who are busy like she is. And so I had a very, very difficult time kind of trying to prepare myself more so for the recovery than for anything else. And so that's kind of the driving reason behind it. Also, it's just easier to kind of document our day instead of posting a big long I do have a blog, and I don't update it very often, but it's easier to videotape things and kind of show you the real stuff that's going on than it would be to write a whole blog post about it or a whole Facebook post about it. It's easier to document it this way than it is to like post photos to Instagram and things like that. And so while, excuse me, sorry, I didn't mean to bump my computer because I'm not a fancy YouTuber. I have my laptop. It's just easier to do it this way. And so moving forward, we are going to be documenting Miss Lillian's journey here. So we are going to document that here. I don't know 100% what that's going to look like because I am struggling a little bit with videotaping her in the hospital in ICU. I don't really want to do that, but I might show a snippet or a picture or something of that nature. But, you know, I want this to be, this is not sad. This is not, this is a happy thing. This is a good thing. And it's taken me a really, really long time to get to that point. No, no, no. Don't touch. You can come over here. Look. Look. Yeah. So, like I said, this is not a sad time in our family. This is definitely an emotional moment in our lives, but it's not sad. We are grateful to the medical teams at OU Children's Hospital and confident in their abilities to fix our little girl who's busy and she's not sad, so why should we be? You know, we are, there's a lot of emotion, there's a lot of uncertainties, and there's a lot of, there's a lot of trust involved in this. And I know that there are moms out there that are just searching for any kind of answers that they can find, whether it's on YouTube or whether it's on the internet or, you know, if it's on Facebook or wherever they can find those kinds of answers. And while I don't have them right now, you guys are going to be walking through this journey with us. And I am all about sharing those moments because for so long in my life, I would have struggles or I would have issues, including, you know, issues with infertility or issues in my marriage or just friendship. I mean, just any kind of thing. And I think in large part, the world has taught me to suffer alone. And I don't think that that's right. And so, you know, after talking with John, we want to share this with people because sometimes people need help and sometimes people just need to see that it can be done. You know, sometimes people just need to know, like, okay, so-and-so went through this very hard thing and I can do it too, you know? And so, that's what we want to do. There's no agenda behind this. I'm not trying to be funny and I'm not trying to be unrealistic about it. There's going to be very difficult days, and there's going to be very fun and joyful days. We are going to be videotaping. That sounded like a very wet burp. I don't know if you heard that, but gross. We're going to be videotaping snacks. Some of the pre-op day, we're going to be videotaping, surgery day, not necessarily her per se. We might. I don't know. I'm not going to make any more promises on this channel because I'm not very good at keeping them. This will be a good way to update my friends and family, but also I hope just that there will be some parent out there who is looking for some kind of resource to see what they're going into, because it's hard to walk through something and not know what it's going to look like. That's Lillian. Sorry. Shaking the camera. It's hard to know that literally a week from today, I don't know what my day is going to look like. I don't know if I know she'll probably be in the ICU, but I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know when she's going to come out of the ICU, really. I've been given, a number of days as a possibility, but I don't know for certain. And I don't know what it's going to look like when we take her home. And I don't know what it's going to look like when we go through recovery. I don't even know if we're going to be able to celebrate the 4th of July with the rest of my family. Weirdly enough, the surgery aspect of it is not at all where the anxiety lies. The anxiety comes from handing my kid to someone else and trusting them from that point on. I do trust them, and I do trust the surgeon, like I've said probably 100 times, which is probably not convincing anybody that I'm trusting them, but whatever, I know my truth. But like I said, the anxiety comes from what happens when we come home, and what happens when we go to the step-down unit, and what happens, from that point on, and is it really going to be fixed, and all of those questions that I won't know the answer to until time. There's no way to know the answer to those things until I walk through them. And so if you are a friend or a family member, we do ask for prayers, because while this isn't a sad moment in our lives, this is a very emotional time. And so I don't know when we're going to be able to have visitors, and I don't know when we'll be able to get back to things as normal, but I just ask that you would be understanding in that, and that you would just pray for us. I don't know very many people who have been through this. Oh, thank you. My elbow needed a kiss. Thank you. I don't know when she's going to be able to have visitors. But like I said, we'll keep you posted. So that is that. Again, this is not sad. We are happy. We are happy to be on the journey to putting this behind us and watching the Lord do what He will in this. We have anticipation of great joy afterwards when this little nugget, who is kicking the chair, golly, crazy mug, when this little girl is going to be fully recovered, and I think I just might kiss Dr. Burkhart when it's all said and done. Just saying. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Sorry I rambled like 101 million times. Say mwah. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. Mwah. Mwah. Alright, she's not gonna do it. We'll see you guys later.